Welcome to episode 23 of Contemplations with Austin West. Also day 23 of the 40-day devotional. Man! Appreciate y'all. Been reaching out. The comments, the likes, the texts. Makes me want to keep doing this. There's something really empowering about letting myself be seen in this process. Which brings me to today's topic: authenticity. Yeah, it's I said this, I think, in this first 3 episodes or something, that maybe not that early, maybe in the 5th, 6th, 7th range, but that I could already feel what this process was doing to me, and that I can imagine who and where I would be at the end of this 40 days. And each day that goes by, that becomes more and more real. I am flushing out parts of myself that I did not know I was hiding from. And I'm not going to say that the podcast or the 40-day devotional alone are responsible for everything that's unfolding. I think right now, astrologically, we're in a really, really pivotal moment of time. I think the collective is going through a huge evolution of what it means to be human, of consciousness, of being heart-led, of authenticity, of, I speak to this often. There's a reason the age of guru is dying. We can no longer hide behind the masks that we wear and expect people to not see through it. I think that's not just what I'm witnessing. That's what's happening collectively. Like, this is a shift in humanity, and the stars have told that story for thousands of years. July is a very big month. July 4th, July 11th, July 19th through the 23rd. Specifically, 19th through 23rd is Barbeau's Basket. Andre Barbeau, famous French astrologer. He, decades ahead of the 2008 crash and pandemic, named in the exact year, exact event, what those were going to be. Like, that dude was tapped into something. An oracle, a prophet, a mystic, a channel. Well, I don't care what the fuck you call it. We're using a whole bunch of different words to explain human phenomena that the regular mind cannot comprehend and typically casts away in the guise of science, because we believe that if it's not material or physical, it doesn't exist. And I'm starting to believe that that's so backwards. Everything in reality is inverted. Medicine is inverted. Most of our doctors' knowledge is inverted. Education is inverted. Religion is inverted. Dentistry is inverted. Like, name the system, and it's inverted. And so I think what I'm experiencing and going through is so much bigger than me. And it's been so powerful to let myself be seen in this process, to show up as vulnerably as I can, as honestly as I can, as authentically as I can. And I just appreciate that what keeps being mirrored back to me is the appreciation of the authenticity. And I don't always see myself in that. So the reflections have been powerful. I had a call with my community in Entheos this morning, where, funny enough, they held space for me. We opened up with about 30 minutes of shares, and then I went into what's alive for me and just spoke to the truth of it. I'm done. I'm so done trying to be some sort of leader, even call in. I know there's a shadow in not accepting who I am, and this is the whole process I'm in, is this worthiness and not fully seeing myself and my value and what I offer, and the transformational experiences people have in my containers and in my teachings. Even saying my this, my that, I have such a resistance to it. Fuck. I'm so in my head about this, about owning my value, because I never want it to come across as pretentious or arrogant or egotistical or making it about me. And I'm sure you can hear the frustration in my voice. This process is just, I'm frustrated, man. I am. Because I don't want to claim ownership over the assumption that any of it's mine. I know I am the vessel of this stuff coming through me. And in the complete lack of ownership, I'm not taking my power in that and my value and seeing myself and my worth. And that's the exploration I'm in. That's what's alive. And no matter how hard it gets, I don't know if I talked about it on the podcast. I know I did in the cohort. About 10 days ago, I had a very religious experience, and I don't even like to use that term because then we ascribe it to religion, but this experience where it's mystical in a way. It's, and words are so limiting. I just to sum it up, I had another experience like that last night. Grief doesn't even hold a candle to it. Weeping doesn't hold a candle to it. Saying portal or process, these words are starting to become so limited to explaining the experience I'm having right now. I'm both feeling this part of me, a part of me, that is in deep struggle of seeing itself, owning its value and worth in this life, that the final semblances of shame and guilt, these narratives, I'm having so many flashbacks and memories from childhood and things my parents may have said, or teachers or friends, like a flip book going through my mind. This has been going on for weeks, and I haven't been fully speaking to this process, but for a few weeks I've been in it since this thing started. Fuck, there's something so powerful about when we commit to something. When we commit to ceremony, the medicine starts speaking to you. When I committed to this devotional, I went into it with the understanding that I wanted to meet parts of myself that were wow. What I was writing in my journal when I started this devotional about why I wanted to do it was because I wanted to clear out all of the distractions and put myself in a place where I would have to do something difficult every day for 40 days, learn something new, challenge myself, all under the intention of meeting the parts of myself that were keeping me limited from actualizing the vision, the mission, and the purpose I have for this life. That is about verbatim what I wrote. And it's just making everything I'm experiencing make that much more sense. Our intention is powerful, y'all. One of my favorite things to feel into lately is pray and trust that everything that happens after that is an answer to your prayers. Everything I'm experiencing, this difficulty, and it's not like this whole 3 weeks and 2 days has been difficult. I've had some extreme highs, but what's been difficult is the roller coaster, the hermetic principle of pull. I cannot wait to teach this to y'all. We're kicking off an 8-week cohort on Hermeticism. I'll be teaching Tuesday mornings inside of the Inner Sanctuary. It's our premium offering inside of the Entheos Collective. It's $77 a month. That's bumping to $99 in a week. 14 calls, 6 different facilitators, breathwork, embodiment, women's circles, men's group. There's so much offering there. This should be $500 a month. But again, I'm trying to make things accessible. So if you're looking we have a community chat. You get access to me. Text me directly. Questions. We're doing this thing together. That's what my call was this morning. If you're looking for community, join us. If you want to support me, if you want to support Entheos, join us, please. This is the part where I haven't been asking for the support. And I cannot wait. This 8-week cohort on Hermeticism is going to blow y'all's mind. It's going to be as powerful as the mind, body, soul teachings. And I'm moving all of my teachings into the Inner Sanctuary. A lot changing there, and I'm excited for it. But this is what I'm experiencing is the principle of rhythm and action. We are going to have highs and lows. The highs and lows we have are a direct result of the prayer intention that we live in life. The more accepting we are of the highs and lows, the quicker and more rapid they become. And the higher the highs. Because the deeper we meet ourselves in the lows, the more comfortable we get in the shadow, then the higher frequency we feel all things in this life, which means my bliss, my ecstasy, my pleasure, my joy, my happiness are all 10x'd because of my willingness to be everywhere I am. And so I see the perfection in everything that I'm going through right now. I also, even in talking about this, I hear the voice oh, people are going to think this, or you're always in a brr, 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 brr. How often are our voices just fucking chirping, keeping us out of the very thing that's going to lead to our freedom? It's all benevolent. And if there's, not that there's one thing, but one of the things that I'm really seeing in myself at a deeper level, I've touched this before. I know I've talked about this lately. Just over the last 6 months, I probably talked about that a month ago. So over the last 7 months, one of the things I'm really seeing in myself is the level of trust and surrender I live in. And I think that level of trust and surrender is why this process has been so voracious. And it's the most authentic way I know how to show up right now. Just talking about where I am and hopes and prayers that it gives other people permission to be where you are too. We're allowed to feel everything we're feeling. Fuck the noise. I continue. I've unfollowed. I'm down under 200, under 150 now. I think the last time I told y'all about the follow was around 190. I continue to notice when I allow somebody else's opinion or influence to second guess my own. Unfollow. I don't need that in my life. I'm in a process of learning to trust myself fully, because the deeper I trust myself, the deeper I trust God. I know I am so guided, protected, and held in this life. We all are. But we must allow that to be so. The beautiful thing about God is the all allows us to live inside of the free will to the point that we choose it, unconditionally supportive of us. So if I choose to believe something, I'm going to be mirrored all of those different things back to myself. Authenticity. Like, feel into that. What does that mean for you? It's like a buzzword these days. Obviously, it's going to be real alive over the next 1 to 500 years as we enter this new astrological age where utility, authenticity is a primary driving force. And we're witnessing it. Systems that are not bred in authenticity are failing. People that have platforms that are not authentic are failing. Or they're magnetizing the very thing that mirrors to them that they're not authentic, and it's just the frequency of that isn't aligned. But in my opinion, authenticity is past the noise of the mind, past the programs, past the ways that I think I'm supposed to show up, the ways that I limit myself, I suppress myself. I can't cry because I'm at work. Why? I can't make a scene because I'm in public. Why? I can't speak my truth because of, I can't do this with my art. I can't say this. I can't post that. I can't write this. I can't. Like, who the fuck told you can't? Where are you limiting yourself? Where am I still limiting myself? Like, thank you, everybody who's reached out about what the power of authenticity in my own reflection has given to them. And I'm still sitting here in my own exploration about, like, where am I still hiding from myself? Because that's what all this really is. When we make our authenticity about anybody else, we're running from ourselves. This whole game is about the self. Y'all know that. Y'all know that's the foundation of all my teachings. Personal and total, complete, radical ownership and responsibility for everything in my life. Every person I surround myself with, everything I watch, everything I listen to, everything is just a mirror of what I'm choosing about myself, and in the understanding to get to know myself better. And so in the ways that I don't fully show up authentically, I'm just hiding from me. What a shame. What a shame that we feel we need to hide from ourselves. And this is why authenticity is the highest frequency we can measure. I have this thing that I teach where it's like, imagine my left hand is my soul, my right hand is my avatar. The gap between these is the distance I am from my authenticity. And the closer I am to my authenticity, the more I am literally living my soul's expression, which is why the avatar becomes so delicious, because authenticity means there's only one of it. And so anybody watching that movie, it becomes the most incredible, enticing, fascinating, joyful movie to watch. And the more authentic I am, hopefully, the more authentic the people around me become, and then the people around them, and then around them, and then around them, and on we go. And so, contemplate that at some point for yourself this week. Where are you still hiding? And the saddest thing is when we hide in relationship. I've hidden myself in all of my relationships. So afraid to speak my truth, speak my desires, be who I want, express how I want, dance and play how I want, ask for what I want. Denying a literal part of myself and then wondering why the relationship wasn't everything I wanted. And now being in this place I am where I'm not afraid to speak these things. I may not know everything there, but when it comes up, I'm not afraid to speak it. I'm not afraid to show it. I'm not afraid to act on it. I'm not afraid to be it. I cannot wait to meet this woman. Because I have a deep knowing that the next woman that I meet and go in with is going to be my wife and mother of my children. That is my prayer. I know it in my soul. And I know I can taste the freedom. Now that I'm tasting that freedom within myself, I can just taste how delicious that's going to be in relationship. And then take that to the next level. Where inside of my friendships am I not being authentic? Am I hiding from my friends because I'm afraid to lose them, or what are they going to think? And then the next circle. Publicly, at work. Authenticity is a gift to everybody. That is in our lives. I'm moving through it, y'all. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. I love meeting these parts of myself. It doesn't deny how hard it is. But the acceptance of where I am, and not always. When I'm deep in a part, there's a part of me that doesn't want to accept it. I see the victim. I see when is it going to end? The fear kicks off. I start telling myself stories. Even in that, I'm like, okay. Because I can hear this whisper in my mind, in my heart, in my soul, and all of them activated in unison, speaking like, you are safe. You are held. You are protected. God's got your back no matter what. And if I trust in the outcome, no matter what it is, if I trust that whatever is happening is in the highest and best for me, it gives me more courage to continue to stand in exactly where I am, which is that authenticity. Man, that's my prayer for everybody. Anybody who's still listening, 18 minutes and 59 seconds in, on day 23 of this here podcast, I pray that in the next week you can find a part of yourself that you've been hiding from, and let that part become free. Fully stepping into your authentic expression, to speak your truth, to feel your truth, to live your truth, and get a taste of the sovereignty and the freedom that is felt on the other side of that. And then by living in that embodiment, by mirroring that frequency to the people around you, giving them permission to do the same, imagine what that world looks like in 10 years. Fuck that. Imagine what that world looks like in a year. Breaking down the norms. Terrence McKenna, shout out to the GOAT and the OG. Terrence McKenna had this quote, "Culture is not your friend." It tries to minimize and synthesize us. Culture has beautiful aspects to it. And it disseminates the individual spirit in so many ways. Decimates might have been a better word there. I'm just so blessed to be alive, to feel the breadth and width and scope and depth and potency of the full range of the human experience, to meet myself in grief that is painful and feel the depth of love inside of that, to really be able to play with the paradox of all things. I'm so done choosing sides. Nothing is this or that. Nothing in this life is this or that. And when I allow myself to have two parts of me, or my experience, or my emotions, or my mindset, or my thoughts, or whatever, when I allow two parts of me to be true at the same time, there's so much freedom in it. Because I'm no longer at war. Authenticity. Feels complete. Appreciate y'all. 16 more days. I cannot wait to see how much further I've gone. Peace, y'all. Catch you tomorrow for episode 24. Much love. Be blessed.